Hey there, welcome back. So today we will discuss about maps, and map is a yet another collection. Now basically there are two type of maps. First type is the type where the elements are not sorted. The element sequence is based on the input. The sequence in which we are inputting the data is the exact sequence which would be kept inside the map. The other type of map is the tree map, where definitely the sequence is being sorted and the sequence is based on the natural ordering. Now friends, when it comes to tree map, we can also implement the comparable interface when it comes to objects, and we can also pass in the comparator object in order to add some custom ordering in our tree map. So that's something again important. Moreover, a map is a combination of two elements which are known as the key value pair. Alright, so let's navigate to Eclipse and let's start coding. Alright, so let us get rid of this auto-generated stub, and in here I will type in map, and this map would be based on integer, comma, string, and the name of the map could be like student equals new hash map. Here we go. So this is good, and in here let me quickly import the required packages. This is cool. Now friends, to this specific hash map, we can also provide the size. For example, in here I can type in 10, and as soon as I type in 10, then the size of this map will become 10. So let us get rid of this variable 10 as of now. Alright, so in here there is a slight issue. The S of student needs to be in a lower case. So let me fix that. Alright, so let us put in some information. So I will type in student dot put. So in here we make use of put, and the key would be, for example, 1, and the name of the student could be, for example, some student like Rahul. Alright, so this looks good, and let me copy this and let me paste this couple of times. The next student could be like 2, and the name could be like Mia, then yet another name, for example Priyanka. Alright, so this looks good to me, and now we will iterate through this map and then we will try to display what are the entries. Now in here let me do one thing. Let me jumble up the sequence. Let me make Priyanka be the first student with ID 3. So the sequence is jumbled up and we are making use of hash map. Alright, so in here I will make use of for each, and the way of making use of for each is multiple. In here we will check the very basic way. So I will type in map, then we will type in dot entry. Now friends, what's exactly an entry? Now entry is a data set from the map. Now for example, in here we have these 3 rows, and inside individual rows, whenever we are putting the data inside the map, this is a complex set of data. In here we have integer and string pair. For example, there is a object pair. The data could be complex, and these kind of data are known as entries, and in fact we are inserting or putting the entries in the map. So whenever we want to retrieve an entry, in order to do that we need to make use of this method by the name of entry. In fact, this isn't a method as well, this is a set. This is a set of entry. So in here the key is integer and value could be string. This is a data set, and the name of this data set could be like entry, and we will type in colon. Now in order to retrieve the data set, the complete set, this is an individual data set whose name we have given entry, but there are multiple datas, and this complete data set could be also retrieved from the map, and in order to do that we will type in student dot entry set, and this will indeed help us to retrieve the information from the map in a format which we can use to display in our console. Little complicated when we compare the for each loop of sets and list, because we have the key value pair inside the map. Alright, so here is our for loop. So in between our for loop, let us quickly type in sysout, and we will directly print entry. Now entry is a complex object, but even then we would be able to print it properly, and here is the output, which is good, right? Now in here we are making use of system.out.println, which is cool, but now for example we would like to display key separately and value separately, then how we will handle that situation? The solution is pretty simple. For example, in here I type in key colon and then give a space and make use of the concatenation operator. So in here I can type in entry dot get key. Now this is similar to getters and setters, right? So we are simply getting the key from the data, which is school, and likewise we can also print the value as well. So in here I will type in value colon and then we will display the value. Let me show you. So again I will type in entry dot get value. Right, so this is good, and now if I execute the program, the output will change a little, and here is the output, which is good. Now friends, if we check this output, the output sequence is based on natural ordering somehow, and we have already specified that the hash map doesn't follow any sequence or sorting, right? So in here, if I check the documentation, in this documentation there is a very important line, and here is the line. It say it does not guarantee that the order will remain constant over time, and the second important line is here. This class makes no guarantees as the order of the map. So the order of the map is not guaranteed. Moreover, the sequence of elements over the period of time, even then there is no guarantee, but the data would be there. Alright, so this is it. Now for example, if we would like to print a value of our element, what is the way? Pretty simple. We can type in like sysout and then we can type in student, which is the name of the map, dot get. Now we will pass in the key. So in here we will simply type in, for example, 3. 3 is the key for Priyanka, right? So if I execute the program, the output is Priyanka and not 3, right? So it has the association. We will simply get the value because key is the identifier and value is the exact value of the data, right? So this is how we can like print the entities as well, which is good, right? Now moving forward, let us check the alternative way of iterating through a map. So let me remove this line of code. And before doing that, let me add a couple of more entries as well. That would be better. So let me add an entry for maybe Angel, then entry for my name, and entry for maybe Maqbool. Maqbool is name of my nephew. So let me make use of his name. So here is the name of my nephew. So this all seems to be good enough. Let me execute the program, and here is the output. 1 2 3 5 7 10, again natural ordering sequence, which is okay as of now. Alright, so let's proceed further and let's comment out the for each loop which we have already created, and then we will type in for integer, maybe element, colon, and then we will type in student, and then we will try to retrieve the key set. So even we can retrieve the key set. Alright, and in between this for each loop, we will type in sysout statement, and let me copy this particular statement in order to save some time. And in here, in order to get the key, we will make use of this element. In fact, the element in every iteration will contain the key. So let us make use of it. In fact, let me convert this temporary variable name to key. That will symbolize the code better. So we will paste the key in here, and in order to get the value, it's very simple. In here we will type in student, and then I will type in dot get and pass in key. Alright, so again this will give us a proper output. This is the alternative or the other way. Alright, so again let me comment this out, and we have a yet another way. The way is based on iterators. So I will type in iterator, and the data of the iteration would be based on entry. So in here we will type in entry, and the key would be a integer and value would be string, right? And the name of the iteration or the name of the specific entry set would be entry. So in every iteration we will get a entry, right? So we will give the name as entry, and then in order to iterate over an entry set, we need to retrieve an entry set, and based on the entry set we will call the iterator method, right? So how is the way? Pretty simple. we will type in student dot entry set dot iterator. Right, so this is how we will get the iterator object, and now we will make use of while loop and we will type in entry dot has next, and then inside the body of the while loop we will make use of sysout, and then we will type in entry dot next. Pretty usual stuff, right? And if I execute the program, this will give us a proper output, which is cool. Now if we would like to retrieve a specific key and value, again that is possible. The way is simple. In here I will type in key colon, and in here after next we will colon get key, and then we will again make use of concatenation operator, pair of double quotes, and in here we will type in value colon, and we will type in the value. So how to get the value? Pretty simple. Again we need to type in entry dot next dot get value. Now there would be an issue. Let me show you. Now if I execute this program, there would be an issue and not all the values are getting printed, and the issue is because of this next method. As soon as we call in the next method, the cursor of the iterator will proceed. Now in here we are proceeding the cursor twice for this statement. As a result, only half of the statements are getting executed and half of the values are getting printed on the console, and this is the issue. Now what is the solution? Pretty simple. In here we can type in like entry would be based on integer and value is a string as usual, right? And the name could be, for example, temp equals entry dot next. All right, so we would be calling in next for a single time, and in here I guess there is a issue. There is no need of double quotes. All right, and now we will make use of this temp variable in order to retrieve information, and the way would be very simple. In here we will type in temp dot get key, and we will type in temp dot get value, and now if I execute, the output would be perfect. So this is how we can handle map. As if now we haven't checked objects in maps, this is something which we will see in our next video, and we will also see tree maps in our next video, so that is coming up. Alright, so before ending this video, there is a word of caution. Whenever we are making use of hash map or linked hash map, the sequence of entries are not guaranteed, as we have already seen and as the documentation says. So if the sequence of elements is important in your program, then don't make use of hash map, rather make use of tree map, and how to make use of tree map is something which is coming up. Alright, so this is it. Thanks for watching and take care.